Honorable Mr. KIREN RIJIJU, the Union Minister for Parliamentary Affairs, Shri B.V. Acharya ji, Senior Advocate, former Advocate General, Shri VIVEK SUBBA Reddy, President, and Mr. PRAVEEN GOWDA, Secretary of the Advocates Association Bengaluru, other office bearers, the honorable dignitaries, my friend advocates, ladies and gentlemen, a very good namaskar and good afternoon to you. Few minutes means few minutes. I know the constraint of time because our honorable chief guest is to leave. He has to catch the flight. Therefore, I won't waste your valuable time. See, parliamentary system, my friend rightly said, it's a very big issue. As lawyer, we are knowing very much. I won't say that we have two houses, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, how the members are elected. You all know, you are the masters of all these things. Now, two things. The president of the association, he gave me responsibility to speak on two things. One, protection, and other about the judicial independence. So far protection is concerned, advocates protection which your state, Karnataka state has passed. I have gone through that. ये कुछ नहीं है, ये एक खिलौना है आपके हाथ में. It is nothing. You are not going to get anything from this state act. But the Bar Council of India has already requested the central government. Central government has referred the matter to Law Commission of India. Law Commission of India is considering. The draft is at final stage. Very soon, बहुत जल्द, you will be getting a very exhaustive Advocate Protection Act from the Union of India. Parliamentary affairs के बारे में, parliamentary system के बारे में, whenever we discuss, you know, and my assertion will be established very soon. Honorable Chief Guest is a very good orator, not only outside Parliament but in Parliament also. Parliament को command करते हैं. He commands the Parliament. He never tolerates indiscipline there. But unfortunately, you might have seen the last session, the monsoon session, how it was wasted by the opposition parties. Not a single day, being the representative of yours, I am now a member of Parliament also, Rajya Sabha. एक दिन, एक सेकंड नहीं चलने दिया. No business was allowed to be transacted, but it was because of our KIREN RIJIJU ji that we were able to pass certain important and public-oriented bills. They are not interested in discussions, for the purpose of which this parliamentary system of government has been formed by our people. They did not realize it. So far judicial independence is concerned, Jaswant Verma's case you might be knowing, and the opinion of the government you are also aware of. The government is very keen to remove him. The matter was considered and it has been referred by the Speaker of Lok Sabha to the concerned committee of 3 members as per the judicial, whatever act is relevant, the 3-man committee is considering it, and very soon you will find that Parliament is not going to tolerate any corruption, any sort of corruption in judiciary. Now, one thing I'll tell to the office bearers, the president and secretary, the vice president. हम तो, actually I was not the guest, I had come for some other function. लेकिन I am encroaching upon the time of the Honorable Chief Guest. He only said that you should also come because it's a lawyer's function. I came. लेकिन my invitation is due. Sometimes they will have to invite me and they will offer a cup of tea with all of you. We will sit together and we'll have a cup of tea. Thank you. Thank you.
Very nice of you, sir. And I think I had to come and say that we have to have a special function for Manan Kumar Mishra, sir. And where he is the chief guest. And there is a command of the Parliamentary Affairs Minister also. Today morning when I was there, Mr. Reddy, Mr. Mishra is here, call him. I said, sir, he is the captain. He is our captain. We are all players. So he has to be here and we will call him for a function. Many members feel urgently Bar Council elections are needed. Something must be done, sir, Mishra, sir. Yes. And one issue, one issue is about the chief guest today. One day when I was having a discussion with him, I asked him, sir, how did you strive politically? Because it is very tough coming from Arunachal Pradesh. So it's a remote area in India. But to rise up requires a lot of patience, hard work, struggle. So he told me how he started from Panchayat elections in the hills of Arunachal Pradesh and from there moved to Parliament. So sir, as part of today's, we request you to recall that journey and narrate it to us.
My colleague in the Parliament, Manan Kumar Mishra ji, who is the chairman of the Bar Council of India, respected ACHARYA ji, renowned advocate and former Advocate General, Sri VIVEK Reddy ji, President of the Bengaluru Bars Association, SHWETHA RAVISHANKAR ji, CHANDRAKANTH PATIL ji, HARINI BR ji, and all the learned members of the Advocates Association Bengaluru and the other staff who are working in this premise. I feel very happy to be back to this beautiful campus of Karnataka High Court. I came here quite some time back, but to be in Bengaluru is always special. Morning I was on the other side of the road, Vidhan Sauda, and afternoon I am here in the High Court. We are different organs but working together. Basically, the judiciary is one separate organ. Executive and legislature in India are two parts of same organs. I am a member of Parliament and I am also a minister. As an MP, I frame the laws. As a minister, I execute the law. So it is a unique combination of the system which we have in India. In the United States, it's a completely separate. A senator, a congressman cannot become a minister. The minister, those who are secretaries of the state and secretaries of different departments, they are summoned by the House committees. House committee means parliamentary committees. In India, parliamentary committee can summon anybody, but not the ministers and judges. Other than that, they can summon anybody. That is the power of the parliamentary committees. The system is very unique, but I will not explain deep into because it will really take long time, because the nitty-gritty of the system is so wide that it's interesting to listen, but at times it's difficult to, run through the patients. It takes long time. But before becoming member of parliament, I had traveled across the world. So I learned about the world before I became a lawmaker. Probably in India, there's nobody who has traveled like me. I have traveled almost every country before I became member of parliament. It's a very unique experience and it's not easy to travel around the world. It's easy to say, but to travel, especially at that time, when most of the countries, the small countries today, they have airstrips and facilities. Those days, we used to travel in a ship. Some of the countries we used to go by ship for 7 days, 8 days, like that. So when you travel the world, when you see the world, then the experience which you acquire is more than any degree of education or anything which you do or you learn through the lectures or through the books. So after seeing the world, I find India is unique. The history is unique, the character is very different, and the way we are functioning is also very different from others. Some people may say that we have adopted Westminster model of parliamentary democracy, but if you go deeper, actually there are quite difference. So there is difference in system, but there is difference in nature and character also. I'll give you a small example. In 2004, I went to United Kingdom on a parliamentary exchange programs. I was quite young, one of the youngest member of parliament, and I had this exchange program with the senior most MP of UK. There, the senior most member of parliament is titled as the father of the house. The one who wins the maximum numbers of terms is given the title. So the father of the house in the House of Commons was Sir Patrick Cormack. He is now very old and he is in the House of Lords. So I went to his constituency in South Staffordshire and we spent 2 days together. After spending 2 days together with the senior most MP of UK, I feel that the problems and the challenges which we face in India is 1,000 times more in terms of intensity, in terms of numbers, in terms of everything you measure in any scale. I'll give you another example. There, a member of parliament has to perform as a lawmaker, that's all. They don't get visitors. In Western world, you don't get visitors at home unless you are invited for lunch or dinner or for some purpose. You don't call anybody just like that. Even if you're a friend, you have to text, you have to seek the time, suitable time to call. They're not intrusive. The MPs don't have to support anybody else because by and large they are quite prosperous society in terms of the economic parameters. On the contrary, when I go to my constituency or any member of parliament, the morning you get up, before you fresh up, at least 500,000 people are waiting outside your house. And almost everybody has come with a problem. Monetary assistance, somebody needs some help in the police station, somebody needs to get some assistance to fight case in the courts, children's education, medical treatment, land disputes, social issues. Each person comes to the local MP with a problem. Otherwise, why would somebody just visit like that? So here the lawmaker is actually solving the problems of the people And law-making process is not even 1% of the energy which a member of parliament spends or utilizes in India. Many people do not realize these real problems which we face. As a large country, the challenges are more. In UK that time, each member of parliament represents roughly 90,000 people. 90,000 voters make one parliamentary constituency in United Kingdom. Here the average is 2.5 million people. 2.5 million people roughly in average makes one Lok Sabha constituency in India. Now you multiply that number with each member carrying multiple problems. So sometimes I get frustrated that we call a meeting of the members of parliament, but the attendance is so less, the member of parliament is more concerned about the problem of the people because he has to get elected again. If he keeps on attending this kind of meetings, he will get no votes and he will not become a good parliamentarian because he will not get elected. As simple as that. So the ground situation in India is far away from the way people perceive and the way people think. Despite that, remember, despite all this, I have narrated just 1% of the picture. Despite these challenges, some of the Indian members of parliament has performed at par with any of the members of the Western democracies. The amount of workload which we possess, we discharge that. At the same time, we read books, we read the rules, we attend the parliamentary functions, parliamentary committees and functioning of the parliament itself. As a Minister of Parliamentary Affairs, it is a greatest challenge for me. I have held many portfolios in the past, including Minister for Law and Justice. But the Minister of Parliamentary Affairs is totally different because you can convince yourself. It is difficult to convince the other person. Every person carries own minds, own thinking. And as a country with multi-party democracy, every member has come to the parliament with an agenda. He has certain ideas about how to perform, what to speak, how he should appear to be according to the requirement and the expectation of his people. So, in a situation which we are into in India, it is definitely most unique experience than any other country we can think about. Having said that, I can personally share with you that the level of the standard of discussion has come down over the years within my own eyes. When I entered the parliament, the senior members who used to sit in the front bench, people like Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Advani ji, Chandrasekhar, former Prime Minister, George Fernandes, Sushma Swaraj, they are eloquent speakers, but they became eloquent speakers because they got to speak. And we were backbenchers and we used to listen to them, we used to enjoy learning from the art of speaking. All those oratory skills which we have seen are diminishing more and more. This definitely doesn't mean that the present day parliamentarians are less in any way. It's not that. There may be difference in eras, but in terms of quality, you cannot really pitch against each other. It's only a question of opportunities. So I tell the younger members of parliament now that when your leader tells you to create disruption in the house, then you should resist. You should tell that we have come to Parliament to speak. Speak for the people, those who have voted. Talk about the issues for which we have represented in the Parliament, and also participate in the important bills and important matters which are brought by the government for discussion in the Parliament. The pressure must be generated. If the leader of a party is not interested in any debates and discussion except creating ruckus and political drama to create a narrative, it is the loss of the members of the Parliament. When, remember, don't think that Parliament doesn't function means it's any creating bad thing for the government. The officers of the ministries are extremely relaxed when the Parliament doesn't function. Because whenever Parliament functions, the officers are on their toes. Because in parliamentary democracy, you are answerable to the Parliament. Anybody can evade anything, but parliamentary questions, parliamentary issues, you cannot evade. It is something, that kind of sanctity it carries. So when Parliament doesn't function, it is not a problem for the government. Because government is in majority. Government will push through its bills whenever required. But the loss is for the members, particularly the opposition MPs. For example, in the just concluded monsoon session which MANAN MISHRA ji referred to, for the past 3 weeks, I kept pleading the opposition parties to join the discussion. Every day, the list of business comes out early morning, what are matter to be discussed on that particular day. The times are fixed. But the opposition party is guided by its leader's intention and the house gets disrupted. So I told them, please think about and take part in the discussion next day. It didn't work. For 3 weeks it didn't work. The bills are too important to be pushed to the winter session of the Parliament. So ultimately, we had to force our majority and pass the bills in the Parliament. I was not happy to push through those important bills in such rush manner because every bill requires intensive discussions and deliberations. A bill like online gaming, it is a revolutionary bill setting the rules and regulation for the online games. The whole young generation is getting trapped into online games. And this is framing a regulation for the future generation. How can such bills be passed without discussion? But we had our intention very clear. It is too critical a bill to be pushed to the next session. Then we talked about 130th constitutional amendment about abdicating the chair by the chief ministers, prime ministers, ministers if somebody is in the jail for more than 30 days. This is long desired wish of the people of the country that we must have zero tolerance towards corruption. We must have stringent legal provisions to check the people who sit in the high constitutional positions. But then, this was again turned into a political slugfest, and it became unnecessary a matter of discussion where everybody should have been together in passing the bill. How to pass the bill? What are the provisions required to be changed can be discussed, but you can't have compromised on giving long rope to the corrupt people sitting in the high positions. In the similar manner, the bills on mines and minerals, the bills on the governance of sports bill, the biggest ever sporting reforms, the bill was brought this time and it was not given due respect with enough deliberations. But we had to pass the bill because entire sporting fraternity was putting pressure The athletes, the sports managers were asking me, sir, when is this bill going to be passed? Indian sports system, the ecosystem needs revamp. We need proper governance. We need proper laws to govern. We had to rush to the parliament because the opposition were shouting slogans on the well of the house. So many critical bills. One of the technically very productive session, but without much discussions. So these are unique things which you see in the democracy. But again, sometimes people have the impression that parliament is not functioning. Sometimes parliament gets disrupted for 10 minutes, but by afternoon everything is okay, people are discussing. The problem is the media doesn't report unless there is a ruckus created in the parliament. The media will give headline to any kind of scenes created in the house. So I keep telling those media houses who are reporting from the parliament, please telecast those peaceful moment in the house where you are having a healthy discussions going on. But only when there is some paper throwing, some shouting going on, then it creates news. So bad news is good news for them. What is good news is no news. It doesn't get reported. So that discourages even the good parliamentarians from acting in a different way to attract the newspapers and the news channels. So the responsibility is lying with everybody. Before Lok Sabha was given live telecast, the MPs were more focused on their performance in the House. Today, the MPs are more focused on what is reported outside because it is live coverage. So it's a double sword size, both sides it can cut through. Good, bad, it has both the edges. So the problem in Indian democracy right now is the electorate will have to be extremely alert. If a Bahubali gets elected, Bahubali means mafia kind of those who believe in muscle power and money power. If they keep getting elected, it is extremely discouraging. There are very sincere members of parliament who perform to the core, but then they get defeated in the next election. I have made sure from the day one that I will not rely on this muscle power and money power. I will rely on my vocal power. I will speak as much as I should. So, Vivekji had asked me about how I traveled so far from farthest area of India in the Himalayas of Arunachal Pradesh and coming to the center stage of Indian Parliament. It's a long journey. I keep it as a reserve for next time. The journey is very long. So today in this August gathering, a non-lawyer is speaking to the lawyers. So it's interesting. Before coming here, I was addressing the different bar associations of Karnataka. They have all come from different towns and rural areas. So I was talking to them, and now I'm talking to the people who are working in the High Court. And many of you are appearing in the Supreme Court also. And Acharya, of course, we didn't get much time to listen to him, but I know somewhat about his background. He has a great reputation as a learned jurist. That is why he has been made one of the member of the inquiry committee to go into the details of the corruption charges against a sitting High Court judge. Many people ask me, so much of crores and crores of money were discovered from the house of a sitting judge. Why FIR was not filed? Woman, why was he not arrested? There are many critical questions. I will not speak about all these things, especially when the inquiry committee has been set up. And as a person who is there in the central stage, it will be uncalled for me to touch upon all this matter. But there are certain things which keep coming into my mind. I used to speak out when I was Minister for Law and Justice, that if we strictly go by the words of the Constitution, there should not be much problems. The allegation which we keep listening of encroachment into each other's territory, the crossing of Lakshman Rekha, will not happen if you remain in your own domain. So sometimes when I speak out, it might sound as criticism. The governments have overstretched itself. The then government transferred some 20-25 judges on a single day from one high court to different high courts. Definitely it will raise shackles. Definitely Supreme Court will act. So from the executive side also, seeing this kind of unnecessary venturing into different territory. At the same time, when we see that the Supreme Court has made a pronunciation that consultation will be concurrence. Now if you change the meaning of the dictionary by a Supreme Court ruling, this needs a deliberation some other day. I will not talk about this matter, extremely critical and sensitive today. But then the question rises that how does it happen? So whether you are in executive or legislature or in judiciary, one must be extremely cautious in remaining within the domain which is being defined by the Constitution of India. Many people carry Constitution book today and talk about protection of the Constitution without realizing that his own party has changed the basic preamble of the Constitution itself during the emergency. So there are things which we have to introspect. If I have conducted in a certain way which has diminished my own position, then I have no right to go around and lecturing people. So I tell my opposition colleagues in the parliament, I am your parliamentary affairs minister. I represent every party because I have to take care of all sections of the Parliament House, and I am a simple man. I speak what I think. I have a very close connection between my brain, my tongue and my heart. I speak in a very plain language. I don't have to think something else and speak other things. So honesty is the best way to carry yourself. Then you carry weightage. People trust you if you are truthful. You must not only appear to be truthful, you must be truthful, as same is in the case of justice. People look up to the judiciary for ultimate delivery of justice. That is why I always say that the distance between justice and the common man should not exist. We must ensure that common people get justice at their doorsteps. And I also firmly believe that justice is delivered not only from the courtrooms. Justice is delivered from much beyond the courtrooms. We can go and reach out to the people to ensure that they get true justice at their own doorstep. This is the idea which our founding fathers of the Constitution had envisaged. And look at the visions of the founding fathers of the Constitution. Today, I can proudly say, not only Indian Constitution is the largest Constitution in the world, but it is the best Constitution in the world. And we must ensure that we safeguard the basic structure, the features, and the spirit of the Constitution in letter and words. Merely sloganeering around and telling people to protect Constitution won't work. You have to ensure from your practice, your action, to follow the rule of law and the spirit of the Constitution. So I will not take much time because I have to leave for the airport to go back to Delhi. Vice President election is going on. I am his election agent. So I have bounded duty to carry forward. But as always, coming to Bengaluru is delightful experience. People are extremely good. The High Court building here, the Vidhan Sauda, these are marvels of architecture. And Karnataka as a state is very vibrant, very prosperous, one of the highest per capita income state in terms of GDP in our country. Bengaluru and Karnataka has given many things to our country, including great judges, juries, lawyers from Karnataka. I hope this legacy will continue. Great meeting you all. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Sir, when you were the Union Minister of Law and Justice, we still remember you took the effort to say that the collegium system was opaque, and the same thing came up with our senior advocate, B.V. Acharya sir today. He said that yes, the system has to be better, the appointment of judges can be much better. I thank all the senior advocates